Today is unboxing day, which means karambits. It also means it's not the day after Christmas. Ask my Canadian viewers what that means. What I am unboxing today is some knives that are really cool that you've probably never heard of. This is a 704 gear tactical knife. I first became aware of these knives when I got this one for free. This is one of their mini models. I was given this as a promo, but it was better than I expected it to be. This one is in D2. It had a really nice large flipper. It had nice grippy G10 handles. It had a Wharncliffe blade that was designed very efficiently for being a small knife. And so I was given this one, or I bought this one rather on my own. So today we're going to unbox it. This is one of the larger models. Let's see what it looks like. There was some confusion when I got it over what it was configured as. We got your cloth. We got your instructions. Is that a sticker? Yep, there's a sticker. Let's check out the actual knife. This is an axis lock knife, 14C28N. Right away, I love how far the axis bar sticks out. That is really easy to get a hold of. Thumb studs in a good place. Nice large blade. Axis flip works good. That's obviously running on bearings. No blade play. So my initial impressions of this knife are very positive. I'm going to be doing a little bit more of a review on this, and we'll check it out in more detail. By the way, this is the Urban Ranger, the full-size one in black, G10. I am back now. I have had a chance to test these 704 tactical knives, and I have to say that I am even more impressed with these things now after I've tested them than I was before. Before, I kind of liked the economics of them. I liked the sizing. Now that I've tested them, we're going to go over in great detail what's so good about them. So first, what's so great is edge retention. So this is the Wildcat. This is the smaller 704 tactical knife. And this knife is D2. It did 400 cuts in my edge retention test. That is far and away the best D2 that I have ever tested. The heat treatment on this is absolutely fantastic. I tested a Benchmade a few years ago that only did in the low 200s. So this is almost twice the edge retention of a Benchmade. I love the fact that they've made this into not just a smaller knife, but they have made it into a good small knife. So the mistake that a lot of companies make when they make a small knife is they take a big knife, right, like this. This is my zero tolerance 452, and they shrink it down exactly like it is to make it smaller. Well, that doesn't really work, right? So this knife, you can see it has a knob right here. It fits my hand, and I can hold this easily and comfortably. Well, if you made this handle smaller, then this bump is going to go right in the middle of your palm. And if it looked the same, but it were just smaller. That's not the way you design a small knife. A small knife should be done like this one. So what they've done with this knife is they've taken the handle, they've left the finger choil, and they've made the back tapered. So wherever that ends up in your hand, because it's going to be different for different size hands, that's still going to be comfortable and smooth. They have given it a Wharncliffe style blade, right? That's great for a small knife, and they've eliminated the big choil at the bottom there so things don't get caught on it. They've given it, even though it's a small knife, that flipper looks kind of ridiculously big, but it's still plenty big enough to get my finger on. Now the action isn't perfect, right? You have to give it a fast flick. It's reliable, but if you push it too slow, it just kind of pops out like that. Not a big deal. I'd rather have the big flipper. The big flipper looks a little bit goofy, but it makes it work a whole lot better. And that's what you should do on a small knife. It is a liner lock. Again, I'm not a huge fan of liner locks, but on a knife this small, it makes sense and it's well built. If you look at the size of the lock face, that's pretty big for a small knife. So that is going to wear more slowly because there's more surface area there to catch the liner lock, and it should last just fine. These are very simple knives. There's no frills with these of any kind. They're very basic, but they're done well. Flat slabs of G10, no contouring, right? But that keeps the price down. And if you knock the edges off well enough, it's still pretty comfortable, even though that's kind of a square handle. Nail nick, the finger hole works for your finger. It works for the thumb, so it's nice and fidgety. I like this well enough, even though it's a D2 knife, that I had to try a bigger one. The reason I don't like that D2 is you can see there's some corrosion on here on the edge, and that's just from me carrying it around. I haven't really even used this knife that much, and it did come with oil on it, so it did get some corrosion there. Now, the bigger knife, the Urban Ranger here, this, you can tell a little bit more that it's square, right? Because the handles are bigger. I still love the grippiness of the G10. I still love the fact that this jimping is not too aggressive. I like a coated blade in a knife that you're going to work with a lot. It doesn't look very good after you've used it, but it does keep away some of the rust. I love 14C28N steel. I'm going to check heat treats on these here in a minute and see if they held up as far as good heat treat, so therefore good edge retention. Has a sturdy Benchmade style pocket clip. The liners are knocked off just a little bit so they're not sharp. And the G10 is flat enough on the back there that my hand doesn't get wedged down in there. So for such a square handle, that's actually pretty comfortable. I absolutely love those Axis bar studs. They stick way out there. I can easily get a hold of that with my fingers. I cannot get a hold of it with just one finger like my thumb because it binds up. Those Axis springs are really stiff, and I don't mind that because this is meant to be a working knife. This is definitely not a gentleman's folder. This is something you stick in your pocket and you get to work. The bearings make it very smooth. I feel like that's a little bit tight from the factory. I'm going to loosen that up and see what it feels like. Let's loosen this just maybe a quarter turn. Yeah, so that makes the action a whole lot smoother and did not introduce any blade wiggle. So it was just a little tight from the factory. That is much, much smoother now. I mean, that action is really on par with anything I've ever used, except for the, oh, okay, so now that it's looser, I can get that Axis bar off with one finger too. I can unlock it with just my thumb now. So pretty cool there. Better action than I thought in such an inexpensive knife. And that is the main draw to these things, is you get premium knife materials, premium knife features at a pretty reasonable price. I'll put some prices up here on the screen for what I paid for them, what they're priced at right now. You can get these on Amazon. I believe you can get these on the 704 Gear website as well. 704 Tactical is a YouTube channel, so check them out if you are interested. While I've got these here, let's do some sizes and some weight comparisons here. Here is my Hogue Deca, so small to medium EDC size. Here it is next to a Hogue Ritter. That's a Griptilian sized knife, almost identical in size and shape to the Griptilian. Here it is next to a Buck 110. So decent sized knives, more blade length on there than the Buck 110, kind of less handle for the smaller of these two. And just for fun, here it is next to Cold Steel Tiger Claw. So that's about what you're looking for on size. On weight, let's check these out here. Larger knife, we are looking at 4.67 ounces. So given that this is almost a 4-inch blade, let's grab my ruler here so that you can see how big that blade is. So we're looking at, okay, so I guess it's only like 3.5 inches of cutting surface. 3.6, 3.7 inch blade is right around where we're at there. Smaller knife, you're looking at 3.4 ounces. So that's on the heavier side, but remember, you're dealing with full liners on both of these knives and G10 handles. So they're going to be a little heavier, but extremely sturdy on the handle front. This is the Mini Wildcat, and this is the Urban Ranger. We're going to go from easy to tough. Easy, we'll start with cutting paracord. Absolutely no problem. We're going to go to some much thicker rope, nylon rope. Works good there. Here's the little one. No problem. Next, we will do zip tie removal. Love that Wharncliffe blade. Gets right in there. Big one does good too. Toilet paper roll test. That is a very difficult test. It did tear a little bit at the very end there, but that's the factory edge. I have not sharpened this. That did great. Finally, the dreaded 2x4 test. That's how far I'm in there with the tip. There we go. Do it again. I'm really in there this time. Same direction. Oh, we lost the tip. So we did break that off there. That is definitely an issue. This is really the only issue that I had with these knives. This is a harder heat treatment on that D2, harder than any other D2 that I've ever tested. So while that caused it to do much better in the edge retention test, this is admittedly an abusive test, especially on such a small knife. I do obviously test these knives. I test them because I want people to know what's a good buy and what's not. I'm not just doing this for, advertising purposes. I'm doing it so people know what's actually a good knife or not. Please let me know in the comments if you guys like budget knife reviews like this. I enjoy looking at knives of all price points. Expensive ones are obviously fun, but you can have just as much fun with these little guys. These are great. Don't forget also that I'm giving away this zero tolerance 452 carbon fiber. So if you haven't subscribed, do it now. One of my subscribers is going to get this when I hit 1,500 subscribers. I may do a live stream with that. We'll see. Also, don't forget I've got a 15% off link to Neil's Gadgets down in the description. So check that out if you're looking for flashlights, batteries, EDC items, that sort of thing. You can save yourself some money and you can really help my channel out. Thank you very much for supporting my channel. Have a great day. Enjoy all your fun knives and EDC gear.